Okay, the storage thing on the camera got full, so I'm restarting where I left off. This is a dissertation on these mixers. Good piece of equipment now. I don't want to seem like I'm trashing it. What you see there is two nuts and had a lock washer between them. May still be one. A flat washer, and behind that is a ball bearing. Not a tapered bearing, but a ball bearing. There's another one on the other side of the wheel with a piece of pipe between them. If you pump the tires up, like if you actually have one that the tires don't just leak, then the tires are too stiff. And when it rocks back and forth, it breaks those bearings. And when you go to move it, the wheels fall off. Now this one was put back together with the factory bearings, exact same model, everything. They're oh, it's a 6000 series. I forget the number. They're the ones for thrust. That I can't think of the name of what you call that. Oh, it's a deep groove bearing. It actually has a thrust direction in one direction and not thrust in the other direction. But they're much deeper grooves than a regular bearing. They just spring them together somehow. You get the parts in there and rotate it around. Anyway, this one has ball bearings. The other one that's hiding up there, it's on the roof. I don't know if you can, if I would stop shaking, you might could see it. Same model mixer, but that one, because we don't take these mixers off the property. There's a steel bushing put in the in here in place of the bearing, because on that one the stub axle broke off of the pipe. So when the wheel came off, it had the axle part in it and the hub, but it wasn't attached to the mixer anymore. There's a and of course I can't focus on anything. Where are you? I know, I'm looking right at it, but it's not in the camera. This must, oh, okay. That's the diameter of the pipe, and that has got a washer welded across the end of it, and the head of the bolt is welded to the washer on the inside. So when that weld lets go on the inside, first thing the wheel tilts up, and then that overloads the washer weld, and it breaks off, and the whole thing falls off. So we took and made solid stubs out of a piece of 2 3/16 shafting, I believe it was. Turned it down, made a steel bushing set that fit the thing we turned down, and pressed into the hub of the wheel, and then just put a nut and stuff on the outside. So it can't break, you can't overdo the tires. It was much cheaper than the other way. Problem is that the leaf springs I've never done videos before. There's a leaf spring there underneath that concrete. The spring leaves are welded to the pipe. They're welded to the thing that locates it. You have to cut all that welding off with a grinder. And the same thing with shackles, it's all welded. So you have to cut it all to pieces to get that axle out. And that's why when one side broke and I was going to do it into bushings, we had the axle out in the ground, so we just did both sides. Wasn't any false savings there. We just took it all off. Okay, there's a tread width on the mixer that the tires would ride on if you were rolling it along someplace or dragging it, however. So we're going to go over and look at how that gets up and down off the roof. That's a Bronco 175, my transportation here. It won't show up in the camera. They're rolling by with a lobster on a cart. These are the builders here. The one in blue is the welder, and the others, well, they're all welders and all fitters. They all made them. These are our construction stairs. They look huge, but they're only 12 feet tall. But the width on them is measured at these side rails here. It's made out of what's called good wood. Is it? Yeah, those are good wood. The tires roll up and down on those side rails. The handrail, the blue thing over here, which doesn't show up very well outside, that just comes off with a couple of screws. It's just to give somebody something that they feel more confident when they're walking up and down this thing. It's a 6/8 pitch set of stairs. That'd be, nope, told you wrong. This is a 7 by about 12.5 pitch. The ones we took out, the original set, the bugs got them, ate them alive. So we made these new ones. This is patched together. The phenolic board is the forms that were used on the spider beam, and they were only used one time. They're 12 feet, an 8-foot and a 4-foot piece. So we spliced them together with another piece of phenolic board and good wood top on the bottom. Sits up on top of the thing there. Right there. Anyway, those are the construction stairs. Like I say, we didn't come halfway around the world to hurt anybody. Well, that's a minimum zoom, I guess. That's a better look down here. Show what I'm trying to say anyway. You can see where it changes direction there. There's a line. It's level on the two ends, level in the middle, and there's a slope. This is a rain gutter. All the water that comes off the top of the house up there falls on this. It goes in the rain gutter. It doesn't splash mud on the house. Also, while this ground has to be chipped away with a Beretta to move it, once it gets wet, it's soup. So we didn't want any water to get down into the foundations. So this is just an 8-foot wide gutter. Rather than trying to put stainless gutters together, I'll go around a circle. Hard to do, a lot of welding, a lot of time. And then you got to clean it. We're hoping this is either easy to clean or self-cleaning. And 10-sided house, there's 10 gutters. Outside window, vent for the bathroom. Lord, I hope this thing is working. We're getting ready for rainy season. That's I think they're Romas. Tomatoes, it's tomatoes. This is a water cistern. Looks like a pond right now, but it's going to be a water cistern. The bottom is concrete, about 8 inches thick. The rebars are 8 inches on center, number 12. Sitting on the other side is the ducks, who think it's home. I guess it is to them. Anyway, the cistern is not as big as this hole, because you have to have room to put the concrete floor forms together, walk around the outside. So the cistern is 3 feet smaller all the way around. I think it's 38,000 gallons, US gallons. Figuring 231 cubic inches to the gallon, that's what it comes out. We're gonna put a concrete top on the cistern, and being we have all this foundation, and it's the top can overhang the sides of the cistern, whatever we want. We can take it out another 3 feet to the size this is, and put some 5-foot high walls and make a swimming pool up there. We've been kicking it around. I imagine we'll actually do it. Okay, this is a gutter going to the right. That is a gutter going to the left. And this is a trough that leads away from the gutter. It's the same basic shape, except for this little corner stuck out here to divert water to one side. And that will have a concrete tray that runs it over here into the cistern. So all the rainwater that lands on the house is going into the cistern. There's another hole over there that you can't see probably. I don't know what shows up on these phones, I really don't. But there's a place for a septic tank, 8 by 12 by 8 feet deep, goes over there. And I don't know if you can see that or not. I can see it because I'm standing beside it. I can see what something on the screen, but I don't know if it's going to show on a video, and we don't know how to edit, so you'll probably be looking at it too. It looks all brown and pond scummy, but that whatever's on top of that is 1/8 of an inch thick, and it's sort of a gold, brownish gold. So we have to skim that off somehow. And when this is the first of several tanks to try to raise tilapia or milkfish or something in. Concrete bottoms in all the tanks are in. We did that during dry season. We had a real dry season last year. It didn't rain but like 2 days in 9 months. And one of them wasn't anything to brag about, just made the road wet. Anyhow, the ducks are gonna have to live over here for a while, because this fish pond is the last thing we're gonna pour concrete to. And there's 10 sides in the building. You got the cistern in front of one of them, and we have to leave a pathway to get in and out of the house at between two of them, so they'll be smaller. That leaves us 8 possible places to have fish of various sizes or ages. But we're going to do a test tank and see if we can make them survive. If they don't survive, this is going to be our wading pool, swimming pool kind of thing. Or just fill it full of dirt and put vegetables in it. Not hard to put dirt in, it's hard to get dirt out. But there's a mound here, several places around it. That's where the dirt got dumped when it came out of this hole. So we got the dirt to put back, and you throw it with a shovel. But I'm going to make a tank first, see how that goes. You see a lot of still pictures if we can figure how to put them up. It's from this this window here is where the camera was when you're looking at those. Under this gutter, there's like 10 or 12 2-inch PVC pipes, about even going to the right and going to the left. That is so we can put PEX tubing water lines around to all the various places that get water, including the cistern, the city water that we call piped water here. There's 4, 5, 6 bathrooms on this floor, and they all get an individual water. The kitchen gets 2 water lines in case one of them's broke. The entry room she calls the living room. That has like a bar in the middle of it, and I think it's going to be the shape of Masbate. We're doing a lot of stuff here that's Philippine inspired. We got 10 wall panels like this. Well, no, yeah, that's as good example as any. And we're going to paint full size. There are only 10 modern flags to the Philippines. We're going to put one on each face with the dates that it was used at. And maybe some people will find out they've actually got a national flag. Because you ask a school kid, they have no clue. But we're going to put the flags up. And that's why the walls are so plain. The top floor, the handrails are 4 feet tall, so kids can't climb over them if they come here for some reason. We're not allowed to be around children because we're foreigners, so I don't expect them to come here. But they could come with parents or somebody, get loose and get up there running around on that upper roof. We don't want them to end up down here in the concrete, so we're making a barrier they can't get over. Wouldn't affect anybody who's trying to break in the house. They'd climb right over it. We'll have to fend them off with the window and door grills. We found out that banana trees will grow on this property. So we're planting banana trees. And she's planting a little bit of everything else too. Gloria here is our semi-professional, most of the time, gardener. She also cleans metal up for security grills. Teaches this child what's going on with gardening. This is Boyette's daughter. She lives with him here. Goes to school right down the street. For lack of anything else to do, I start seeds. And they bring them out here and put them in pots. And then we put them in the ground and they die. Because the ground is just terrible. We've tried adjusting the pH and using fertilizer and more water, less water. They all die. But we have 400 or 500 to plant. We'll see what happens this time. I've not gotten a tomato or a pepper to eat off of this property since we've owned it. It doesn't mean we haven't planted 400 or 500, tomato and pepper plants. Plants, I got some seeds mail order catalog, and some of them are out of stuff from the supermarket. These ones that they're putting out right now, these are guava trees. If you can't grow a guava tree, just crawl in a hole and die. Every seed in that thing comes up. If you take a little chunk of it, it's wet, don't even dry the seeds, and put them a ½ inch in the ground, all 3 of the little pieces of seed in it will come up as a separate plant. So right now they're trying to separate them into pots. We'll get them up 8 or 9 inches tall, about like these tomato plants. We'll get plants that big before we try to put them out in the ground, and that's where they go dead. It's like you poisoned them. There's a bunch of flowers here, of course. I'm not sure, but I think those are bird of paradise. Yeah, there's one on the end down here. I don't know how you use a phone if you're supposed to have a sun to your back and it's a dismal day. Shouldn't make any damn difference. Yeah, I can see it here. Okay, there's a flower on that one, so that is a bird of paradise. Doesn't do any good for the pond scum, though. It looks just as bad as from here as it did over there. Well, this is a good place to stop this. We'll think of something else to look at and do some more.